if you are struggling to obtain the outcomes that you want or manifest the things that you desire, then this video is for you. I do want to add the disclaimer that my videos often bring awareness to things that can inspire some sensitivity in those that listen. So I encourage you to check in with yourself and see if you are in a place mentally and emotionally to gain some more awareness. And if you're open to growth and awareness, then stay. And if you're not, that's okay. I'll see you in the next video. So the specific analogy that kept coming to me was when your phone is going to receive new features, there needs to be a software update, a download to bring the software up to date to handle the new features, to have the support that it needs to run smoothly and efficiently and successfully, time after time. And the reason why we end up being stagnant or finding difficulty in obtaining the things we want or manifest, it's because we are meant to stay in our current stage until we have received that update. There are two specific examples that came to mind that I think will either specifically resonate with you or help you better understand why you need a download and how to look for this download, this software update. The first example that came to mind was the tendency for lottery winners to go bankrupt. And I have not read extensively about this. This is just the analogy that came to mind. And the lottery is such a good example because I feel like many of us will often make jokes about, if I win the lottery or what have you. So it's fascinating that, we think, if we just win the lottery, we can do these things. Our life would just totally change. If I had $500,000, my life would change, or however much the lottery is. The reason why it doesn't actually change, you go from broke to having a bunch of money to broke. That's like the frequent experience for lottery winners, is because they did not learn beforehand how to have that much money. So they'll often make risky investments or just suddenly start buying more expensive clothes or eating out more or whatever it is that they do with their money. They had not learned yet how to live with and responsibly manage that large sum of money, and it ends up disappearing fairly quickly. The other example that came to mind too was I currently have some fairly lush stinging nettle in my backyard. And often when I'm back there with my dog, I will end up brushing up against stinging nettle at least once, almost every time I'm back there. And in this case, if I really wanted to stop having that happen, because stinging nettle's kind of uncomfortable, it's not necessarily something I would seek out. If I really wanted to stop that from happening, I would get better at identifying how the plant looks and how to avoid it. Pay more attention to when I'm walking to look for those plants, or map out my backyard in my mind and remember the places where I need to be more mindful of the stinging nettle, because my backyard's so lush and overgrown. I'm often not paying attention every step of the way, right? So I think there's two parts of this analogy that are actually really relevant. It's that like preventative or proactive part of the work, and also reactive, because even if you're hypervigilant, you still may come across these cases of stinging nettle or whatever it is in your life that you need a software update on. And the second half of that is this reactive half, is learning how to treat the stinging nettle, or to take care of yourself in those moments when you still come across the things that you are in the process of outgrowing. So I think that these analogies should give you enough clarity on what exactly is your obstacle. I wouldn't even say obstacle. I reframed a long time ago with one of my managers that they're opportunities. They're opportunities to learn and grow, and also to put down unnecessary burdens. Like, I don't need to experience stinging nettle every day of my life, right? So I can like take that conscious action to ensure that I'm not dealing with the tingling, pricking pain of engaging with stinging nettle on your bare skin. So my encouragement for you here is to spend some time just sitting with the thought of, if I am looking to move into this goal, this new way of feeling or being in my life, something that you're manifesting, that you want, a way of living, a way of being, a way of feeling. What might be in the way of me moving into that state? What kind of software download might I need in order to better thrive in that place? How does this current time serve me? And those lessons may not always seem directly correlated. The one that just popped into my head was the lesson of rest. And I think that may be something that some of you need to hear right now. But also, I just know in this capitalistic society that we live in, at least here in America, rest is not something that is taught. It's discouraged. So sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I want to win the lottery. What does rest have to do with the lottery? Right? We don't need to know exactly the way everything is connected. So the ways to find the kind of software download you might need right now is to notice the things that have come up for you repeatedly recently. I don't think I need to be too specific in that, because after you have watched this video, I think it'll be easier for you to identify. But notice where you feel resistance or dissonance. And I think most people understand the concept of dissonance, but for some reason I feel like I should give some clarification there. So this might be for somebody who needs it. The dissonance is something that we experience when something within us is not aligned. Something about the way that our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, our actions are not aligning. And that dissonance is a similar feeling to the resistance. So explore those and see like where the opportunity is for you to learn and grow. And I know that at times we may not feel super resourced to learn and grow. I don't think that we necessarily need to have it perfected in order for us to be ready to receive things. I think that's why software companies have so many, it's not iOS 15, it's iOS 15.01.01, right? Because they put bug fixes and stuff in there as like they allow things to unfold. They do the best that they can, and then they allow things to unfold, and then they just keep taking steps in that direction. So sometimes even just having awareness is enough of a software update for us to be ready to engage with life differently. So don't feel too discouraged by that. Definitely take some extra self-care where you need it, and give yourself a ton of grace when you're learning. None of us learn very quickly when we're being berated or criticized. So be mindful of the way that you communicate with yourself. And as always, I'm sending you off with so much peace and love, especially in these trying times. And if there is anything that resonated about this video, give me a little like or a comment. Or if there's something you're needing, something more of that I gave you here in this video or my other videos, or if you're needing something totally different, definitely always drop a comment, because I am eagerly looking for ways to help support our community, especially in these uncertain times. So peace and love till next time.